Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about reflexive verbs. Now people call them reflexive verbs, but actually their correct title is pronominal verbs. This really isn't an important distinction, but just in case you see that anywhere, the reflexive verbs and pronominal verbs are, well, more or less the same thing. Pronominal is more correct. Reflexive means that it reflects back on you. And so in English, the idea would be it would be a verb with self in it. So to enjoy yourself, to get yourself dressed, well, we don't have a lot of reflexive verbs in English. But in Spanish, these pronominal verbs or reflexive verbs are any verb with se. So if you've been studying Spanish for any length of time, you would have seen this little word, this little pronoun se, quite a lot. And we see it at the end of the infinitives on the verbs. So let's just have a look at some examples. It's always easier to look at examples. We use a lot of reflexive verbs in the daily routine. For example, levantarse. Levantarse. ¿Qué significa levantarse? To get up. So let's look at another verb. So the next verb down here is lavarse las manos. So we often use reflexive verbs in Spanish when we're talking about something that we do to our own selves, to our own body, or to a part of our body. And you'll see here the las. In English we'd say to wash my hands or your hands. In Spanish you don't use the possessive, you just use las. Lavarse las manos. Acostarse. Literally acostarse is to lie down, but it can mean to go to bed as well. Cepillarse los dientes. All the time you can see the se here. Always se, and the se in the infinitive is stuck onto the end of the infinitive. Afeitarse. Afeitarse. Again, the verb is afeitar and the se is the little pronoun, the reflexive pronoun. So in Spanish you shave yourself. In English it sounds a little bit unusual, but this is what you say in Spanish. So the Spanish like reflexive verbs. They use them a lot. Let's just look at some other common reflexive verbs that are not connected to the daily routine. Divertirse. ¿Qué significa divertirse? Very common verb in Spanish. To enjoy yourself. So this here is a time when the self exists in English and in Spanish, this reflexive idea. To have a good time, to enjoy yourself. Olvidarse. Maybe it's not clear from the picture. This is to forget. He's just forgotten. He's forgotten his money or his wallet or his phone. Olvidarse. Sentarse. Sentarse. So when you sit down, that's in Spanish, that's reflexive. And the first verb that you learn in Spanish, nearly the first verb that everyone learns, llamarse. So when you say me llamo, when you say your name, me llamo, that's a reflexive verb because you're saying I call myself. So that is literally reflexive in English and in Spanish. Me llamo. They're both saying here. Me llamo Silvia. Me llamo Juanita. Let's say. So let's see if you can remember the infinitives first. So we're just looking at the infinitives of the verb for now. ¿Cómo se dice? En español, ¿cómo se dice? Empieza con L. Give you 1 second. Levantarse, exactamente. ¿Cómo se dice? Again, I'll give you a second. Lavarse las manos. Lavarse las manos. ¿Cómo se dice? To go to bed. Empieza con A. Acostarse. ¿Cómo se dice? I brush my teeth. Well, sorry, so to brush your teeth. Let's use the infinitive first. Cepillarse los dientes. Again, when somebody's doing something to some part of their own body, you generally using a reflexive verb. ¿Cómo se dice? To enjoy yourself, to have a good time. Again, just the infinitive first. Empieza con de. Divertirse. ¿Cómo se dice? Empieza con A. I'll give you 1 second, see if you can remember. If you have to stop the video and go back and check, do that. Afeitarse. Remember, he's just forgotten his phone. Empieza con O. Olvidarse. All of them reflexive. Common verb, empieza con ese. ¿Cómo se dice en español? To sit down. Just give you 1 second, see if you can remember, think about it. Sentarse. And to be called. To call yourself. ¿Cómo se dice? Llamarse. Exactamente. Bien, so let's look at conjugating the verb. So to conjugate a verb means to break it down into the different persons, the different grammatical persons. So in English we're talking about I, you, he or she, we, you plural, and they. En español, yo, tú, él o ella, nosotros, vosotros, ellos. So the key to conjugating a verb with conjugating a reflexive verb, or a pronominal verb, to be correct, is just conjugate the verb as normal. So llamar is a regular verb, so we just say llamo, llamas, llama, llamamos, llamáis, llaman. All we have to do then is add the correct pronoun. So here are the pronouns here. And it is useful often to just learn the pronouns. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Can you repeat? Okay, so that helps. So you can say that me llamo, te llamas, se llama, nos llamamos, os llamáis, se llama. First pronoun here in brackets. We know that these pronouns are optional. In Spanish, because the verb tells us what person we're talking about. So we don't need all of the pronouns. We just have them in brackets to show the person clearly. So let's do some practice. So we've done llamar. Let's do some practice with, let's start with levantarse. ¿Cómo se dice? I get up. Me levanto. You get up. Te levantas. He gets up or she gets up. What's the pronoun we need? Se levanta. We get up. Nos levantamos. Os levantáis. Se levantan. Se levantan. So that's how we conjugate levantarse. It's the same for every verb. We have to use the reflexive pronoun first. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Okay, very quickly, let's see if we can practice some of the conjugation. So let's start with Let's start with olvidar. Okay, so here we have olvidarse, and we're going to use the third person. We have él or ella. So, ¿cómo se dice? She forgets or he forgets. Well, we take the se off, conjugate the verb as normal, and then use the se at the beginning. Se olvida. That's all we do. Let's do another one with se. Los dientes. ¿Cómo se dice? She brushes her teeth. Ella se cepilla los dientes. Dientes. So again, we just conjugate the verb as normal in the present tense here. Let's do one more with se. Lavarse las manos. He washes his hands. Se lava las manos. Y ya está. Let's do one more with yo, the yo form. Common one. Divertirse. So what's the pronoun we need for a reflexive verb? For the first person, it's me. Me divierto. Divertirse changes a little bit. It's a radical changing verb. The E changes to IE in the present. I shave. ¿Cómo se dice? Again, we need me. Finish it. Me afeito. Remember, this is the verb, just conjugate it as normal. Present tense with the O. And let's do sentarse. Me siento. Again, it's a radical changing verb. The E changes to IE. We have other videos and blogs on radical changing verbs. So that's a little bit about how the reflexive verbs change. What we're going to do now is a very quick little activity to practice listening with reflexive verbs. So we're going to listen to a little story, very short story. We're going to be listening to somebody called Juan. I'm going to read Juan's part, and you have to see how many reflexive verbs you can hear. There are a lot. So there's the beginning of the story. I'll show you the end of the story later, after I finish reading, but I'm going to read it first, and then you see how many reflexive verbs you can hear. Hola, me llamo Juan. Todos los días me levanto a las 7 de la mañana, pero a veces los domingos me gusta quedarme en la cama hasta muy tarde y solo me levanto a las 11. Durante la semana trabajo mucho, así que los fines de semana no me afeito, no me cepillo los dientes y solo me ducho si voy a salir a una discoteca o a un bar. Me gusta relajarme en casa. Me divierto mucho jugando a los videojuegos, viendo Netflix o cocinando. Me siento delante del televisor por 5 o 6 horas seguidas, mirando la tele o jugando. Quedo muy contento no hacer nada los sábados y domingos. A veces me olvido de cenar y tomo una pizza a la 1 de la mañana cuando tengo hambre. Mi familia dice que soy muy perezoso, pero no estoy de acuerdo. Trabajo mucho durante la semana. Okay, that's Juan's little story. If you want to check your answers, there's the transcript. That's our little video for today about reflexive verbs. Thanks for watching. See you soon.